This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Azure Data Engineering training, and this is our fourth training. And you are the set of data engineers, the upcoming data engineers you are going to be. And with you for this training, it is going to be myself, Kumar, be your trainer, and also we have a beautiful trainer, Venkat. So Venkat is your other trainer who is going to assist you. So let me introduce myself and then I'll give it to Venkat. Uh, so my name is Kumar, and most of you already interacted with me. I have around 13 years of data engineering experience. It came all the way from the ETL tools that we started using way back in 2010 to 11 with Informatica Talent, and I worked on the big data skill set way back in 2016 itself. And then we slowly have evolved as the industry has evolved into data engineering, and I'm certified data engineer from Databricks, and also Microsoft certified data engineer as well. So this is all about me, and I'll be your main trainer this time. Leading the Azure and SQL part, and also your Databricks and Python Spark, many areas. And we'll also have Venkat sir. Venkat sir would be your other important trainer who will be taking care of a lot of your assignment initiatives, and also he is the perfect person for Azure Data Factory. And today's demo will be given by Venkat, Venkat sir. So over to you, Venkat. Take it from here. Thank you.
Hey, hello, good morning. So my name is Venkat. I have a total 12 years of experience in data engineering. So I do have a certification in AWS and Snowflake. Okay, so today let's jump into uh, the discussion. I have prepared some slides for you to get an idea how the course looks like and all those things. So let's go into this PPT. So in this session, right, we'll be discussing on this particular agenda where you see in the slides. The first thing we will be discussing is like what are the takeaways from this course, right? The objectives of this course. After finishing this course, what you will be learning as part of it. The second thing is we also discuss about how the logistics of this particular course looks like. So what are you need as kind of prerequisites for this course and other details. The third thing is like you might be having questions like why this data engineering. We talk about what are the tools you need in order to become a data engineer, and also we talk about market trends when compared to other roles in the industry, how the data engineering role will look like. And the fourth thing is like when I got a job as a data engineer, what are the roles and responsibilities typically looks like, right? So now I completed the course, I got into a role, right? What my roles and responsibilities look like in that organization. We discuss on that as well. We also discuss on the technology stack, how it looks like in the market, and finally, to get a taste of how the data engineering work will look like. So I'm gonna put a small demo to show you what you will be doing in this course and also what you will be doing once you get a job as part of data engineer. So that's gonna be a demo, the last action item. Okay. So moving on to the next one, like course objectives, right? So fundamentally in this course, you will be first introduced to Azure, right? So because this course is on Azure data engineering, we assume like it doesn't have any knowledge on Azure. So we start with the Azure fundamentals as a first portion of this course. And then slowly in the second side, we discuss on the SQL portion. So we take a SQL server as an example, and we teach you the SQL queries, how to write a SQL queries. Because as a data engineer, 60 to 70% of your work will be around SQL, right? And after that, you also need to learn a programming if you want to work on a Spark. So here we opted for a Python programming language. The reason is like it is easy to learn, right? And it is effective as well for writing ETL programs. So the third thing is like you will be introduction to Python language, right? The fourth portion of this course is Databricks. So Databricks is a kind of a technology where you can do a large amount of data processing. So we will be teaching you as this fourth topic of this course, right? And the fifth one is other technology present in Azure Data Factory. You can also build pipelines using Azure Data Factory. We will be also teaching you how to create, right, pipelines in Azure Data Factory. So these are the 5 topics you will be learning as part of this course. Okay. I will take questions. If you have any questions, anything, I will take end of this slide. So you can keep a note of your questions, whatever comes, we can discuss at the end of this meeting. So here we talk about the logistics, how the course looks like. It has starting and finishing times. So the course will start at 7 a.m. IST and it will complete at 10 a.m. IST. Weekends like Saturday and Sunday. If there is any public holiday in the middle of the week, we'll try to communicate, like if everybody is okay to join, we'll try to take a class on a public holiday as well, if everybody agrees, right? And short breaks. So this 7 a.m. starts and 10 a.m. it ends. So it's 3 hours of class. So we will try to provide breaks in the middle so that you'll not feel kind of a lengthy session during the course. Okay. And what we need from you for this course is like should have a proper internet and able to connect to the classes, right? So Wi-Fi is a kind of a mandatory requirement to attend these classes. And the fourth point is all about we provide you exercises, like kind of a takeaway from the class. So you have to do those exercises in order to successfully master this course, right? And if you have any questions on these exercises, like if you have any questions on what has been taught in the class, you can reach out to your personal mentors, right? In this case, either me or Kumar, right? And you can have these sessions with the personal mentors on whatever the topic you are not comfortable with, right? And mentors are from the 2 companies. One is Rekindle Technologies, that is in Bangalore. The other one is Talent Tech Solution, which is in Hyderabad. Okay. So these are the logistics of this course. Okay. Then we move on to the next one. So this is the technology stack you will be learning as part of this course. So if you look at the top box, so that involves programming languages and the framework. In this case, in this course, you will be learning Python, like as one of the programming language. SQL, structured query language, it is also another language which you will be learning. And along with that, you will run a framework called Spark. So it is how to process a large amount of data in a short amount of time. That's what Spark will teach you, right? And if you look at the second box, we are talking about processing technologies here, right? So again, here we'll be teaching, you have a Spark in multiple variants, like how you go to an ice cream shop, you will have multiple flavors there. Similarly, Spark also comes with multiple flavor. Here we teach about a Spark with in Databricks. So how the Spark looks like when it is offered in Databricks. The reason we select Databricks because the creators of Spark are the CEO of Databricks. So they are the best company which will provide you optimized version of Spark. So that is the reason we opted Databricks as a processing technology. Okay. Similarly, we also want you to have a one skill in Azure side, how to process large amount of data in short amount of time. So we thought of using Azure Data Factory in this course. So you'll be having two technologies. You can use Databricks or you can use Data Factory based upon the scenario which you got. So what happens, right, when you go to an interview, sometimes the people will look for these two technologies, sometimes they will look for one technology. So you get more opportunities if you have these two technologies in your skill set, right, when you are going into a job. That is the reason we put two technologies in this course, right? The third thing is storage, right? So whenever you have some data, you need to store it. So we will talk about storage technologies like Azure Blob and Azure SQL Server. So one is a file system, the other one is a database. So we cover both in this course, right? So moving on to the next one. So this is the slide I designed you like to tell you why people are choosing data engineering when compared to other roles, right? So if you look at the trend, there are several roles: Android developer, DevOps engineer, CRM, customer relationship management, right? Data scientist and backend developer. But if you look at the growth of data engineering, so this is an year-over-year growth. So every year it will try to increase 50%. So you can clearly see that there is a scope for data engineering. There will be new roles created every year, right? And there are more roles in the organization. The reason why data engineering role increases year on year is because every company need to take decisions on their business, and they can take the decisions based upon the data which is available in the organization. So all the companies, they are harvesting the data, right, to take their business decision effectively. So in fact, I think there is one statement is given by Reliance recently, saying like data is the new oil of this era. So if you have a data, so you can make wonders with it, and whatever the roles are associated with data will be keep on growing. So this graph clearly shows there will be like year on increase on the data engineering roles. And this is another important slide as well. People, okay, I will join data engineering. What is in it for me? So if these slides will talk about the salaries, right, which are provided in India, especially for a data engineer. If you look at here, This in the vertical side, we talk about the experiences. In the horizontal type, we talk about the salary based upon the experience which they have. Here, if you look at, if you have 9 to 12 years, you will get salary around 18 lakhs. Actually, these salaries are actually changed after COVID. I can see people around 9 to 12 years are getting around 40 lakhs as well. It depends upon the your skill set and your ability to perform in an interview, right? So these salaries are average, but you can think of much more higher pay when you apply for the job, right? So moving on to the next one. So this is kind of, okay, I got a job, I'm into the company. What I will be doing as part of my day-to-day activities, right? This slide I prepared by keeping what I will be doing in my current organization. So thought like if I talk about what I'm doing, it might help you what you will be doing when you join the. Basically, you'll be working on 5 topics, right? The 5 topics I covered here. The first thing is like you will get a requirement saying like, hey, my data is here, and I want you to extract the data from this particular area. Try to do some kind of business rules. Try to apply some kind of business rules and change the data and store the data in this particular place. I want you to design like kind of end-to-end pipeline. When I say pipeline, it's like pulling the data, do the changes, whatever business asking you to do, and store back the changed data in this but some place which business is asking you to store. So this is called a pipeline. So you have to, there will be a set of activities. You will be performing the set of activities in an automated way. Like you should not be doing it manually every day. You should automate it and make that set of activities to run on a regular basis. That's called pipeline. So you'll be working on pipeline development first. The second thing is something data integration. What I meant in this is sometimes you will get my data is present in this file. Sometimes your business will tell my data is present in this particular database. Sometimes they will tell I need to pull the data from Twitter. Sometimes they will tell I need to pull the data from Facebook. So they all provide different interfaces, right? Facebook provide a API in order to retrieve the data, right? Some provides files in order to retrieve the data. Some provides databases. So you should have the ability to retrieve the data, whatever the sources they provide. So that's called integration. So you should have the capability to bring the data from any system and try to transform it according to your business rules. So data integration also will be kind of a critical aspect for you when you take up the data engineering role. Then we talk about data quality. What I meant on data quality, simply if you bring a data from a particular file or a database, right? There can be chances like while modifying the data, you might make some mistakes, right? There might be some information coming by mistakenly, you would have dropped that information, or the source itself, the file itself doesn't have the critical information which you are looking for. So if you automate everything and provide this data to the business, and whatever the information they are looking for to make a business decision is not available in that particular data, then the data is no use for them. So that's why it's not about bringing the data, it is also maintaining the quality of the data. Like imagine like you are trying to build some kind of phone or something. You just build a phone without any quality, nobody purchase it. Similarly, you are as a data engineer, your job is not to build things. Your job is also to make sure things which you build or the data which you process having a quality in it. So data quality is also kind of a major requirement for a data engineer to ensure whatever they provide is meaningful for the business. Okay, that's the third point. The fourth point is performance tuning. So often, right, you develop something, you create something, you automate it. Often you see like it might be running for a long time. So maybe a job you created, it might be running for 2 hours or 3 hours. So there will be a time where business will ask you to decrease the time which your job runs. Suppose if it is running for 3 hours, they might ask you to finish it 1 hour. So that's where you have to know how to decrease the time, right? We are not decreasing the data which we are processing, but we have to optimize the job to run for a short time. So that's where you also need to know how to do a performance tuning. This is the fourth requirement for you as part of data engineering. Fifth is very important. It is needed for any role which you take up. It's a kind of a collaboration. So whatever the role you take up in the organization, it will not be individual contribution. So you will be collaborate with other teams which are present inside the organization. In case of data engineer, you have to talk to business to understand their requirements, because they are the ones who sponsor your role, right? So you have to talk to them. What is the requirement? What I need to do, right? What data, where it is present, what are the business rules you need to apply, right, etc. So, and this is a business teams. You also need to talk about your work, the data whichever you produce, right? There will be consumer teams as well. Somebody will try to use your data, so they doesn't know how your data looks like. You might also help them how to read that particular data, how to consume it, right? This is other portion of teams. Then you should also working with the testing team to find out any bugs are present in your data. So these are typically teams which you will be working on, and there can be other teams also, depends upon the organization. So that's why you also need to know how to collaborate with other teams and work with them. So these are the 5 things you'll be doing once you take up a data engineering role. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. So here, I just want you to get the flavor, how it looks like, the data engineering course. So what I did is like, I created a use case. This use case is like kind of, you might have seen recently, if you are living in a cities, you might have seen there are some bike stands where you, through an app, you can unlock a bike and you can use that particular bike. When I say bike here, it's a bicycle. You could have seen in cities like Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, right? This demo use case is built on that particular kind of an organization where they will try to rent a bike, right? And here you will collect some information, right, from the user, right, whoever is renting a bike. In this demo use cases, the bikes are attached with sensors, right, which will try to record the weather that particular city. So it will try to record the temperature when the bike was ridden, right? At this particular area, what is the temperature? What is the wind speed? What is the humidity, right? All this information is collected from the sensors which are present in the bike. So we will use this information and we'll try to put some kind of recommendations for the users who are using the bike about the weather present in the city. Imagine like if I'm coming new to the city, I took your bike. I just want to see how the weather looks like based upon the historical data. Like this is the month of October, how the weather looks like in this particular city in the month of October. If user wants some information, I can use this data which was present in the past. I can present it to the user so that user can take a decision, right? Which area he need to go to avoid hot temperatures or to avoid rainfall, to avoid humidity, right? He can take a decision while taking the bike. So we'll try to provide such kind of insights to the user as part of this use case. So moving on to the next thing. So the information we collect from the sensors present in the bike is season. So season, we have 4 seasons in a year. You all know winter, spring, summer, and fall. We also collect the month information, which season it falls under which month, right? And we also collect the temperature, humidity, and the wind speed. So as you know, right, when your temperature is very hot, nobody wants to ride a bike, and the wind speed is against your way, so you have to ride your bike with much more energy. Humidity is like kind of, you will be seeing like kind of sweat as you, when the humidity is more in the atmosphere. So I think these 3 conditions will help the person who chooses the bike to go when the climatic conditions are normal, right? They don't want to try to travel in areas where the climate is extreme. So we'll try to help the users to identify which areas are having temperature extreme and which, at least we'll tell which months the temperature is extreme and which months the temperature is normal. So let's look into the questions the user might be looking for. So if I take a bike, I am looking for these 3 questions, right? What are the biking conditions across the season, so that I can try to pick an ideal season to ride a bike. That is first question. The second question is, what are my average biking conditions? So what it looks like average across a month, right? The climatic conditions. The other thing is like, I also want to know what is the extreme conditions present for each month. So what is the maximum temperature? When I say about these 3 questions, in the first question, I want to know maximum temperature, maximum humidity, and maximum wind speed for each season. So we are talking about season here. So season has multiple months. I'm looking at the season level, which is the best season to take bike outside, right? In the second question, what are the average climatic conditions? We are talking here at the month level. So each month, for example, if I choose one season, like kind of summer might span from April, May, June, July. Within summer, I just want to make sure which month is having an average temperature, not too extreme or not too low. That's what I'm trying to figure out in the second question. The third question is maximum. What is the peak temperature? If I choose summer, I just want to know which month has maximum temperature, either June or July or May, right? Based upon that, I will try to avoid renting a bike, right, in that particular month. So these are the 3 questions we'll be looking for, right? And And this is kind of an architecture which I designed. So as part of this course also, once you learn data engineering, you might also design such kind of pipelines. So we will look into this. Let's jump into demo. I will explain how this architecture has been built in the demo. So going on to, I'm switching my presentation from a PPT to, one second, PPT to another application. So are you able to see some kind of notebook?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a kind of a Databricks environment. I cannot cover this environment for you right now, but I can show you how things work here using this demo. Here I already have information which was collected from the sensors present in the bike. So I'm trying to read this information. So in this is called notebook, whatever you see, right? That's called notebook. Whatever I highlighted, this particular box is called paragraph. So similar to your English sentences, right? You are cutting down your sentences into paragraphs. Similarly, here you cutting down your code into paragraphs. You can run each and every. At one time you can run one paragraph. Okay. So if you look at here, this is the sample data which I want to show you. This will talk about the seasons, like you have season 1, 2, 3, 4, and it also talks about year and month, right? It talks about temperature, which was recorded. It talks about humidity. It talks about wind speed information, which is needed for us to understand the climatic conditions and do the recommendations for the user who are taking. So I read this data first, and then I am trying to store it in something called table. Table is a kind of object. You use it more often when you are working with structured data. If you look at here, the first thing is like I'm reading the data from the file and I'm storing in the table. So that is what I just now ran. Okay. So this first step is what just now I ran. If you go back, I registered this. I read the data from this file, bike sharing day.csv, and I load that into this table called bike share. Okay, in this paragraph. And next, what I'm trying to do, the first requirement is we need to find out maximum temperature, extreme temperature across the season. Right? We have 4 seasons. I just want to know how the temperature looks like, maximum temperature looks like across those 4 seasons. The seasons we talk about is summer, winter, fall, spring, right? So there are some kind of mathematical functions present in SQL. I don't want to go, but you can see some English words here, right? Calculate maximum humidity, maximum wind speed, right? And based upon a category called season, because we are talking about each season. So I'm running this. So this is called transformation. So you are changing the data now. You are trying to calculate maximum. So the data which you got is different. Now you are trying to take it out maximum information from the data. That means you are modifying the data. So this is a modification which you did. And then this modified data, you are storing it in a different table. So that is where you can see in this paragraph, you are registering it in different table. So if you go back to here, the initial table, you read the file, you store in the initial table. The first question which you got is try to find out the maximum temperature, humidity, and wind speed across the season. That is the question. You try to apply some kind of modification based upon some functions which are available in SQL. You did this modification and you are registering it in a new table. So we completed this one, this portion, right? Table 2 information, because we have the first question answered here. So we completed that information, and then we are trying to run this query to read the information we just now loaded into the table. So here you can see some kind of visualizations available. By looking this data, see earlier the data looks something like this. To find out maximum, it is very difficult to look into this data. I need to scroll through everything. So it's very hard for the users to look into all those numbers. But if you provide a visualization capability for the users, they can tell easily. So here I have in the left side, in the horizontal, I have 4 seasons. In the vertical, I have the numbers, right? In the coloring right here, you see orange is for temperature, green is for wind speed, blue for humidity. So if anybody asks me, what is the highest temperature, I can tell easily now. Looks like this graph is huge when compared to this graph and this graph, because orange talks about temperature. So the temperature is maximum in the third season, right? And probably it might be the summer season. The third season is summer, so that's why temperatures are huge. So by looking at these graphs, right, you can tell the user when it is, how the temperature looks like. This is called visualization. This will help for the business to take decisions quickly. So end of the day, business will look from you to create graphs like this, so that they can try to look what is happening inside the organization. So in this case, if you go back, this is what I'm talking about. You record the data after trying to do a transformation, and you create analytics on top of this data. So analytics is nothing but the graphs which I showed you right just now, to understand the business, what's happening in the ground level. So in our case, we created those graphs to understand what is happening in the cities, right, across the seasons. Okay, let me go into the next one. Next thing is, we are trying to calculate the average conditions across the months. This time, you see here there are some functions: average temperature, average humidity, average wind speed, right? And we are trying to calculate this average month-wise. So that's why here I'm trying to group the data based upon the months. Okay, this is kind of a transformation which we are trying to do. If you look at this one, right, we are using bike share. Here also we are using the table bike share. So this is the initial table which we created. So if you go back to this design, this table one, whatever you see, right, this is a bike share table. Earlier we tried to transform it to calculate the maximum climate across the season. This time we take the same information, try to calculate average conditions across the months. So this is a kind of a second transformation which we did, right? Again, we need to store it in a table, and then again we need to perform an analytics on top of that. So let's see. So this one we calculated it. We are storing it in a table called maximum climate seasons. Okay, not this one, sorry, this one, average climate months. So let me run this one. Now this is a different graph, different insights you get into it. So here, if you look at, this is called a line graph. Earlier it was a bar chart. This will also clearly tell you the temperature looks right as the month goes from, I mean, initially January, February, those months, the temperature is not huge. If you look here, in the month of extreme, July, the temperature goes to extreme conditions. And when it comes to November, October, again, the temperature falls to false, right? This is how typically the India looks like. So by looking at this, any person who comes outside of India, they know easily the month of July is extreme conditions for to take a bike out in India. So such kind of insights it provides, right? Humidity is more in the month of 5, so that is May. In the May month, humidity will be there, and the wind is more in terms of 4. In April month, wind will be more. So that's how we can understand what's happening in a particular city. So the next transformation is maximum. We are trying to find out the extreme conditions across the months. So going back, we are trying to answer the third question. We take the same data, try to apply different kind of rules, try to store that in a new table, and try to look into analytics of that. So here we are trying to calculate the maximum temperature across the months. So let's go there. And we are trying to create a table to hold that particular data. And then we are trying to run this particular data. And here you can see, right, this is a month-wise extreme. If somebody asks me which month the temperature is high, I can take a look at it. So this orange graph talks about temperature. In the month of July, the temperature is more and compared to June. So I can tell easily by looking at this graph. If somebody asks me which month the humidity is more, I can tell you, right, which month the humidity is more by looking at the blue graphs. So this is how you can take out the information from your data, and that ultimately this information will influence whether I need to take a bike out on this particular month or not, right? Similarly, the business also, by look at the data, they will take the business decision whether I can expand in this particular area, right? Whether my sales will get improved in this particular area, which areas I need to market it, which areas I don't have sales, how can I increase the sales in that particular area. So such kind of informations organizations also will look by understanding the data. So that's how a data engineering role looks like. I'm stopping here. If you have any questions, you can start asking.
Thanks, Venkat. So we're opening the floor for all the questions. Anybody is having any questions, please feel free to ask. All right. See, we have a few updates to be given here. So one of the update is, so this batch this time is going to be a combination of freshers and experienced. So we got good number of freshers as well, because the last batch we had good number of people who are freshers who got placed. We have a type with two organizations, and we have a commitment of 5 students to be taken by some organization, and they're looking for data engineering skills. So that's the reason we still have some freshers has been taken in this batch. And now today's event, we have multiple freshers also who have attended. And one more thing, what we have done is we focused on giving a demo, which is mostly based on some part of SQL. Of course, need not worry on how the UI and all it looks, because if you are new to this, we are going to help you on how to do this kind of demo. What Venkat sir has given, it's an outstanding demo. So you'll be also be able to give a demo at the end of your course, and we are going to Also make sure that there are two real-time projects which we are planning, and those should be done by each of the candidates, and they'll be also presenting in a similar way. And as part of other logistics, I also wanted to add that we had a tie-up with an LMS system called ClassPass. So every individual will be having all the access, the recordings, the assignments, and all the materials for, I mean, until 1 year. So you'll be gaining an access to all this information as part of your app. And you can also, the LMS system can also be opened from the from a from the website itself. So whoever is getting enrolled, will give the access. So that is going to make us seamless to integrate with you. And me and Venkat sir will be available all the time over the weekends, because the app was designed in such a way that you will be able to connect with us 24 by 7. So that's the reason we have invested heavily on having more access to the users, or the students. The app is going to be really helpful for you to engage in all the activities that we are doing. And one more thing is the assignments. We have increased the number of assignments that we have planned. So if we compare the last three batches, the fourth batch is going to be one of the wonderful batch which we are planning, because we have good number of use cases which are brought up. And we also have a data set which includes all the interview questions from the most common companies that actually look for data engineers. So that's going to be add-on value this time, thanks to all the hard work of all the students and trainers, who has put in for getting that kind of data set here. So this all from us. If there are any questions that any individual has, please let us know. Me and Venkat sir are ready to take.
Hi Kumar, this is
Hi,
Aruna. Sorry, actually, initially I had some issue with the microphone.
no worries.
Is there any chance to start the session a bit earlier, Kumar?
So Arna, there's a plan. In fact, the good thing that I can tell you is in the last batch, because everybody wanted to start at 6:30 a.m. in the IST, we were able to do that.
Okay,
But I can check it once again once we have a confirmation. So the batch strength here is 20, and we have around 15 confirmations so far. Other five, I think we may get it by end of the next week. So we only have a 20 people batch. So I'll
okay.
keep you posted by the end of the week, if there's any possibility like that. We'll try our best to accommodate for the US time zone, which you are.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Kumar. And one more thing, Venkat, in Databricks, what are the topics covered? I heard when I was doing working a DAG scheduler or something, what are the topics covered? I want to know.
Yeah, I think Kumar, you can talk
Yeah,
about
so
that.
I'll take over that. So see, when we're talking about Databricks, right? So the main important part here is going to be Apache Spark. As Venkat mentioned, right? So there was more about talks about the Spark flavor. What Databricks gives is one of the best version, very optimized version. We'll be starting with basics because we have heterogeneous batch, so which will include about. I mean, we have to go with Python first. Definitely the fundamentals of any programming, the programming constructs. I mean, using conditional loops, and again the objects and some object-oriented programming techniques as well, because it's the right time to learn. And once we do some exercise on Python, we are going to switch to Apache Spark. So mostly we'll be talking about data frames. But before that, we'll be also introducing you to how the evolution happened to
Mhm.
data. I mean, from Hadoop world, from on-premise world to cloud, and various storages, because these are all used as part of what we're talking about Databricks. And then we'll be
Okay.
talking about data frame. We'll be talking about some meta stores, and we are also going to talk about all the transformations that can be done using data frames. Everything will be covered, and multiple use cases on ETL with different kind of data sets are going to be covered as part of Spark. And again, we will also be focusing on performance tuning very much. Like Z ordering, some concepts are there which generally have a better ways to deal with it. And we'll also talk about Delta, which is a format that Databricks is actually contributing more as an open source project, and why Delta sharing, time travel. So there are very good number of features that I can list. So these are all going to be covered, and again, these are all going to be done on Databricks. And one more thing is, as part of the new editions this time, the new edition is going to be Databricks specific unified. Since it's a unified platform, we're going to work on one of the uh, premier tier of account for Databricks for the project. So we are going to work on even the APIs. Okay, how can you automate all the events? We'll be also working on workflows. There are new areas that are generally added as part of Databricks for the last 3 to 4 months, and definitely we are going to add those all the features that Databricks can be done as part of data engineering domain.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Kumar. Sure.
You're welcome.
Kumar, since it's a Q&A, you can stop recording.
Oh, yeah, sure.